Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the second to last new thing you will be learning with me. So celebrate. Today we are looking at chapter 9-5, and we will be looking at how to graph quadratic equations using the y-intercept and substitution. This is the last step in being able to apply all these skills of factoring that you've been working on. So the first thing I'd like to reacquaint you with is how you graph an equation like y equals 3x minus 4. That's a linear equation. And typically we can start by doing this with a table. The first thing you would want to do is pick some values for x that you would then substitute in for x, solving for y. So 3 times negative 2 minus 4. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6, minus 4 is negative 10. I'm noticing that will give me the xy ordered pair of negative 2, negative 10, and that's going to be off of my grid. So I'm going to pick another value that will actually fit on my grid. I'm going to choose negative 1. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3, minus 4 is negative 7. That's a little bit better. It's just slightly off, but it will have to do. That's that spot right there. Oops, I made an X on accident. That's that spot right there. Alright. Then if we substitute in 0, 3 times 0 minus 4 is negative 4. 0, negative 4. Then I'm going to choose 1 again. 3 times 1 is 3, minus 4 is negative 1. 1, negative 1. And then 2 times 3 is 6, minus 4 is 2. So 2, 2. So I've put some points on my coordinate plane. Last step is to connect them with a straight line, as I know that this is a linear equation. Quick review there for you. So graphs of quadratic equations form what we call a parabola. So this is my coordinate plane, and the graph is going to form a U shape called a parabola. The highest or lowest point on the parabola is called the vertex. That's this point here, the vertex. The line of symmetry is the line that runs through the vertex and through the middle of parabola. If I were to fold the parabola in half, it would fall on that line of symmetry. Symmetry. Alright, so if I were to graph something of the format y equals ax squared, notice it doesn't have all the extra stuff that we normally have, bx and c. We're not dealing with any of that. Just the simplest part, y equals ax squared. So y equals negative 3x squared is what we're going to be graphing. Again, we're going to choose some values for x. Let's start with negative 2, 0, and 2. If I plug in negative 2 for x, and I square it, negative 2 squared is 4, times negative 3 is negative 12. Again, that seems like it's too big for me. So let's try negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1, times negative 3 is negative 3. 0 squared is 0, times negative 3 is 0. 1 squared is 1, times negative 3 is negative 3. So let's graph those points. Negative 1, negative 3, 0, 0, and 1, negative 3. Now, as we said before, a parabola is a curve. So you're going to connect these dots with a nice smooth U-shaped curve. In this case, the vertex is the highest point. And you can see the axis of symmetry would be through 0, the y-axis. Let's try another one. This is a little bit more complicated. It says y equals ax squared plus c. Again, we only have one variable here, one x, and so this is still simpler than what we will be learning next week. Again, we're going to choose some values for x. Let's do 1, 0, and 1 and see how we do with that, since we've struck out with 2's so far. One thing that's really important is finding the y-intercepts. So in order to find a y-intercept, you put in a 0 for x. So let's take a look at that first. If I put in a 0 for x, that's going to be y equals 2 times 0 squared minus 4. 0 squared is 0, times 2 is 0. Y equals 0 minus 4, so y is negative 4. So I know that when I have a 0 for x, it is negative 4. Okay? And that is a y-intercept, a place where it connects with the y-axis. So 0, negative 4 is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. That's the y-intercept. Alright? So now we need to find some more points. As we were saying, let's try negative 1. So negative 1 squared is 1, times 2 is 2, minus 4 is negative 2. And if you're having trouble following my math here, feel free to write it down, solve it out, use a calculator. Let's also try 1. If I plug in 1, squared is 1, times 2 is 2, minus 4 is also negative 2. You'll notice that once you find the y-intercept, the others will be very similar. So let's put those points, will be the same, excuse me. That's because it's symmetric. Let's put those points on the graph. I'd like to prove this to you. Let's try negative 2. Oops, negative 2. Negative 2 squared is 4. Times 2 is 8, minus 4 is 4. Try 2. 2 squared is 4, times 2 is 8, minus 4 is 4. Again, they're symmetric. They're the same on both sides. So let's graph those 2 points as well. Negative 2, 4. Oop, that's an ugly dot. And positive 2, 4. So again, this is a parabola, so we're going to connect it with a nice smooth U-shaped curve. Alright? That's what you'll be working on today. So let's do some more practice. My Math Lab, Chapter 9-5, Part A. Part B will get trickier.